I can't stand Cult 45 or MAGA either, but some of y'all are losing the plot, and you're letting your frustration and your anger turn you into the very thing that you hate. Do not lose your humanity, because then you are no different than them.
Hey guys, we are back with another one. If you're returning to the channel, welcome back. If you guys are new to the channel, introductions, my name is Mark. I like to, I guess you can say, study the woke mind virus through the liberal mind. I live in Canada. I don't mind my business when it comes to American politics. And if you guys are wondering, well, what's my interest with, American politics? Well, because there's an excessive amount of liberals out there, and quite frankly, they're just really fun to watch. So let's get into it.
If a black person says they hate me because I'm white, that's literally racism. It's literally not. That is an example of
Prejudice.
So when a person of color says something hurtful to a white person based on the color of their skin, I don't like white people because they're the worst. That's prejudice, not racism. Okay, but it's literally all the same thing. No, it's not. Pretend I'm black. You are bird watching in a park and I say, I'm calling the cops. That doesn't even make any sense. Why would you call the cops? Exactly. But it doesn't matter. I'm calling the cops. What are you gonna do? Nothing. Go ahead. I don't care. Exactly. You're not worried. You're figuring, oh, the cops will get here and I'll just tell them I was bird watching. Duh. Okay, so a person of color doesn't have that same luxury. Roles reversed. I was bird watching in a park. You tell me you're gonna call the cops. Now I'm worried that the cops are gonna show up and shoot me without even asking questions. You have institutional power on your side to oppress me, a black person.
Okay, no. I'm sorry, if I'm a single issue voter, my single issue I'm voting on is public education. Public knowledge. I was raised on PBS, okay? And that's my single issue. Don't take public education away. I will riot. Watch me.
Hey RFK, fuck you. You don't get to stand on a stage and say that people with autism will never hold a job or pay taxes or play baseball or use the goddamn toilet. They're not broken. They're not a burden.
If you take the Bible literally when it talks about gay people, but not when it says that men should chop off their hands if they touch a woman inappropriately or gouge out their eyes if they look at a woman inappropriately, then I just think you want an excuse to hate people rather than protecting women.
I am so grateful that I align myself with the party that is not celebrating children being thrown on their front lawns to be deported and children in handcuffs. You sick fucks.
This is some next level scary shit. When the MAGAs and the MAGA chuds, MAGA turds, whatever you want to call yourselves, when they get on Fox News, Pam Bondi, and say the quiet part out loud, if you rule against Donald Trump, you are putting your career at risk, and you should and will be arrested. This is some next level Schmittler bullshit. We are beyond a constitutional crisis. We have become the Schmittler regime all over again. If they can get away with arresting judges for just disagreeing and ruling against the orange mango idiot, then our country is truly fucked. And if you're a MAGA and this doesn't bother you, you really need to study up on history. I mean, seriously, crack open a fucking book. Do some goddamn research. You know how many people died because of this kind of action? Of course you don't. You don't give a shit. This has been your old Uncle Al. Let's stay in touch.
All right, that's old Uncle Al. Found him for the first time ever today. And he strongly suggests that we read up on history. I would strongly suggest to old Uncle Al that he strongly does some research on present. Reason being is he's talking about, obviously, Trump arresting judges. And what he's stating is because they rule against him or they disagree with him. And that is complete BS. The only two judges that I'm aware of, you guys fill me in if I'm wrong, if there's been a third one, but the only two that I'm aware of was one who was housing an illegal migrant in his house, pretty much while hiding an illegal migrant who was a gang member. His face tattoos say it all. Him and his wife, they both ended up getting arrested. And the second one was a judge that was trying to sneak another illegal migrant out of the courtroom through like a privileged door that I guess only like judges or whatnot uses. So these are two judges that were breaking the law. They were absolutely in the right to place him under arrest. And he wants to bring up Schmittler, as he calls him, with these code words. If judges were doing this to Schmittler back in his day, and Schmittler was in the right legally, then Schmittler should have arrested them. Absolutely. So I would suggest again to old Uncle Al to forget about the past, and that we do not need to study the past, because we all know our past when it comes to Hitler. Hitler was not a great guy at all. But he definitely needs to do a little bit more research on his present.
I absolutely love it when the misogynistic men come to the comment section of my page and they're like, ew, he's such a feminist. And I'm like, babe, let's clear up the definition right here, right now, okay? Because feminists believe that men and women are equal. They want equality, right? That is not what I want. I think women are better than men. And I'm not asking for equality. I'm honestly hoping for revenge. Like, babe, Julia Tafana is my deity, and I absolutely aspire to have every man I come into contact with watch their drink for their life around me, not to mention bat my eyelashes and lead them to their end like a siren. So no, I'm here to tell you, babe, I think you spelled misandrist wrong.
I don't know who the fuck the tolerant left is, but it sure as shit ain't me. I am not a nice person, and I have slapped the shit out of people for far less than telling me that the people that I love shouldn't have basic human rights. Stop playing with me.
I am neurodivergent, and I have 2 autistic children, and let's get one thing very fucking clear. They are not a mistake, they are not an epidemic, they are not a tragedy, and they are not ruining my family. They are smart, they are kind, they are funny, and they are whole. And they deserve a future without people like you poisoning how others see them.
So whoever's in charge of the White House social media, can someone please take AI away from them? Because what do you mean they posted a picture of Trump as the Pope? And then also that picture they posted for May the 4th?
MAGA cult is so uneducated. You said it. MAGA cult, because, make no mistake, it is a cult. It's shaped like a cult, it walks like a cult, it quacks like a cult. It's a cult. Make no mistake. I'll say it again, I'll say it clearly, and I'll say it simply. It is a cult.
I guess what shocks me the most about these Trump supporters being, completely baffled about the fact that they were lied to by a con with 36 felonies is that before I recommend a restaurant to a friend, I go and I eat there. I read the menu, I check out the service, I feel the vibes, and then I go and tell a friend if I like it, like, hey, you should eat there, you should bring a friend or a partner or whatever. And I do my research, for a restaurant before I recommend it. And you guys thought that the guy who is known to cheat on his wives, who is a failed businessman, wouldn't lie to you, even though he told you exactly the platform that he was running on, but you didn't think your vote for democracy was worth just looking up definitions of words that were being just thrown around as talking points for fun.
Okay, just a little over a minute there. She said a few things that just, you want to talk on all of them, but there's no time to talk on all of them. First of all, a democracy is not leaving your borders wide open and inviting everybody from all around the world and letting other countries empty their jails and asylums into your country. That's not a democracy. Joe Biden was not upholding any form of a democracy. And just to correct this young lady, it's actually 34 felonies, not 36, and it's 34 that are just temporary. They're not going to be around for much longer. And let's be honest, who is she talking about? Like, what MAGA supporters feel like they've been lied to? I'm pretty sure most MAGA supporters are actually pretty happy with their decision that they've made. As a matter of fact, they did a poll recently, and I'm not big on polls, but I think 92 or 93% of people said they do not regret their decision and they would vote for him once again. Of course, she wants to bring up, a failed businessman, a guy who's got billions of dollars in the bank is a failed businessman. They want to keep using those 6 different bankruptcies that Trump has been through. And to top it off, the cherry on the cake, this time she wants to bring up how Trump has cheated on his wives. Not just wives. Like, Trump cheats on all of his wives. I don't know what proof they have of this. If they're actually relying on Stormy Daniels as the proof, that's pretty weak proof right there. So for a girl that claims that she does her research before she goes to restaurants, I think she should actually do a little bit more research on Donald Trump before she starts flapping off her mouth with fiction rather than facts.
Someone said Accountability feels like an attack when you're not ready to acknowledge that your behavior is harming others. It feels like an attack when you're not ready to acknowledge that your behavior is harming others.
My future prediction, which has a 100% chance of being right, is that the people who are very proud of voting for Trump and are very excited about what he's doing right now will be first in line, front and center in 10 years' time at school board meetings trying to ensure that their children never learn about this.
We don't need to be cured. We need to be respected. So take your fake science, your pity party, and your ableist trash talk and shove it in the hole you climbed out of. Autistic people are not broken, are not going away, and we sure as hell don't need your approval. So once again, fuck you, RFK.
You're telling me that the draft-dodging dementia diaper-wearing patient we call a president is having a military parade on his birthday? Oh my God. Oh my God.
Trump's attack on our democracy is persisting, this time targeting journalists and media outlets that challenge his agenda. He's also going after law firms, judges, and undermining the very institutions that stand in the final defense of full-blown autocracy.
I don't really think organized religion is bad. I think men organizing anything tends to be bad. They weren't really good at like governments or industries. I don't know why we thought like religion, they'd be good at that.
Why isn't everyone, including mainstream news, exclusively talking about the fact that Donald Trump has declared war on the Constitution? It's not a dramatic overstatement, it is a legal fact. When the President of the United States claims that a 9-0 Supreme Court decision has no authority and does not limit his ability to act, that is a direct attack on the checks and balances of the Constitution. This has only ever happened one other time in American history, and it was when Andrew Jackson famously defied the Supreme Court, leading to the Trail of Tears. My question was, why isn't everybody talking about this? And I do have a theory. Before deciding to publicly defy an order of the Supreme Court, Trump first destabilized the stock market and the US economy with unprecedented tariffs. And the truth is, while civil liberties are great, a lot of people do not have the bandwidth to fight for them if they're concerned about how they're going to pay their rent or feed their kids. It is entirely possible that the Trump administration is using this crashing economy to their favor because there is so much chaos and uncertainty going on that people do not have the energy to think about anything other than their survival. But we can't afford to be distracted because it is incredibly difficult to claw back rights once they've been taken.
Wow, I can't believe it's the first week of May and some people are still going on about this whole Abrego Garcia situation. They won't mention his name anymore because I think enough information, enough proof has come out now that he's actually a gang member. But I highly doubt that Trump said, hey, you know what? The judges are going to work against me, so I better crash the stock market and the economy to distract the general public. That way I can defy SCOTUS when they actually rule against me so I don't have to listen to them. And that plan doesn't really make any sense. And the reason why is Trump never anticipated SCOTUS working against him. There's only two of them on there with common sense right now when it comes to this whole illegal immigration situation. This is an invasion on the United States. Joe Biden left your borders wide open and let millions of unvetted people in, majority of them being men, single men of military age. We've been hearing that for years, and that's the truth. So for majority of you liberals out there that are wondering, where are the women? Not as many women came over that border as single military-aged men. Trump is going after the criminals right now. There is a constitutional crisis, and that's the fact that your SCOTUS, the Supreme Court of the United States, the highest court in the land, is woke right now. They've been compromised. They're not doing the right thing by ruling against Trump. Now, let's also get that cleared up as well. We've talked about this before. We're not going to go deep into it, but Trump is not defying SCOTUS with that 9-0 ruling. SCOTUS simply ruled that he must facilitate the return of Abrego Garcia. What does that mean? It doesn't mean go to El Salvador and get him. It means if El Salvador wishes to send him back, the gates will be open for him to return. And they'll give him that like third or fourth due process now that you liberals keep asking for, and ship him on right back. So Trump is not defying the Supreme Court with that 9-0 decision. Look up the meaning of the word. You guys are so educated. Look up the meaning of the word facilitate and state again if the Trump administration is actually defying those orders. Oh boy, again. All right, guys, that's it for this video. If you guys are new to the channel and you're not subscribed as of yet, please consider doing so. If not, if you can like the video, share the video, interact with the video, comment or anything, it'll be greatly appreciated to help me out with that algorithm. And until then, I shall see you guys in the next video. Have a good one, guys.
What is an adult problem that nobody prepared you for?
Having to figure out what I'm having for dinner for the rest of my fucking life. Also, that your car and your appliances will shit the bed the second you have any money saved. That my knees and my back are gonna hurt every time it fucking rains. The price of paper towels. Accidentally ruining your entire fucking week because you stayed up past 11 p.m. on a Tuesday. Having a favorite burner on your stove that if anybody else uses, it's a fucking issue. I wouldn't call it a problem, but being excited to cancel plans. Waking up injured after doing fucking nothing, you just slept wrong. Having to recover after extensive socializing. Spending $8.99 on a head of lettuce just to have it die in the fridge. Trying to figure out if you're just depressed or dehydrated. Having your entire body crack like a fucking glow stick just because you stood up. The absolute betrayal of a hangover lasting 2 business days. Every new pain you feel in your body turns into a game of temporary or permanent.